Welcome to Developing Your Nutrition Mindset, all about bringing mindfulness to eating with your host, Anika DiGloria, certified nutritionist. So, allow me to introduce myself and give you a little bit of my background so you know where I'm coming from. So, I am a passionate women's health and wellness advocate. Ever since I was a young girl, I've always been really curious and really interested in what makes women healthy and happy throughout their lifetime. I'm a certified yoga instructor, as well as working over 15 years in the beauty and wellness industry. So I've seen all sorts of fads come and go. I've been a transformational program leader for an international company that really excels in having people step into their full potential, which is really amazing. And then I've also had the pleasure of being a coach and working with women one-on-one for over 10 years. I absolutely love it. So, and then the last little nugget is that why this area is so important to me is because I've had my own personal journey of having to overcome a lot of obstacles and a lot of inherited challenges and struggles along the way. So it's something that it really matters to me, and I've really been able to develop a muscle in because of all the personal practice I've had, right? So I can totally relate to anyone struggling with this. I can totally relate. It definitely takes effort, and it's available to all of us. So now, moving on back to you, I want to talk about your eating awareness. Now, all obstacles begin in the mind, and you cannot change that which you are not aware of. So I have a question for you. When you're having a craving and when you're going to the refrigerator and looking for something to eat, looking for a snack, what are you really hungry for? So oftentimes the mind-body signals that we get, the cravings, the hunger, um, they're it's got, you know what? It's one of the strongest, loudest signals in the body. I mean, besides fear, it's like fight or flight. I think hunger might be pretty darn loud, right? When you think about that impulse to eat, it's pretty rigorous, right? So why I bring this up is because you know what, oftentimes there's a lot of like shaming or guilt or blame or criticism that's wrapped up around our habits and how we treat ourselves when it comes to food and dieting. And I want you to realize that it's normal to turn to food, or it's normal to have really strong feelings in this area because it's such a fundamental aspect. But something that's going to give us some power, being able to take our power back, is by checking in and identifying. So what are your triggers? What triggers you? What type of eater are you? Are you a socialist? Is that what that says? Sorry. Debbie proofread. Debbie did my typing, cleaned it up for me. So I'm like, what the heck? Anyways, I had like party girl on there. So we want to look to see what type of eater are you? Are you a social eater, or do you eat because you're rushed? So you're going to grab something that's quick versus something that's good for you? Or are you someone who's an emotional eater? Uh-oh, this is me. Or are you someone who's like bored and, just kind of snacks, unconsciously snacks? So now why identifying your trigger is important is because it's getting present to that pattern that you have. Now, the very first step in bringing mindfulness to your eating habits is by observing yourself. So you just want to get present to, without judgment, what's going on? What's your style? What do you do? What's your MO, right? And then from there we have something to work on. So now if you're at parties or just out with people, something that I want to bring up is there something that has you not keep your promise to yourself? Like, what's the conversation? What's the thing that runs in your head about why you would unfortunately sell out your commitment to your health in order to be in these social situations? Is it something to do around, you don't want to look weird and stand out, or you don't want to be rude to someone who's offering you food? Or perhaps if you're one of the time saver people, like, are you looking and see, are you making yourself a priority? Are you spending that little bit of time to plan ahead and take care of you, or are you putting everybody else in front of you? So life's all about balance. So what I find, I heard this once and I thought it was great. So as you balance your life, you balance the scales. So again, we're taking a compassionate look at what's our style so far, what are our triggers. So again, with the emotional eating, oftentimes that comes down to being a stress response. So I want to ask you, and let's brainstorm a little bit. How can you de-stress without using food as your go-to? So for some relaxation, we can do things like it's called like a water ritual. So that's where you can soak in a hot bath, or perhaps you like to write and you can journal, or maybe even meditating, or being a little silly and dancing and laughing and having fun. And then when it comes to your fulfillment, you can look, you see that they're all ways of being. So what fulfills us is a way of being. So instead of turning to food as an easy quick fix, I want you to look and see, where can you be creative? Or is it being connected and being heard? Right? So what are you really hungry for? Is it that you want to be expressed and generous and kind and known in your community? Now, when it comes to fulfillment, remember food, it's been said, is the ultimate safe sex. So instead, I want you to, again, more brainstorming, because it's all about bringing that consciousness, our awareness to what our patterns are. How else can you find satisfaction without food? So when you think about your body, what would be satisfying to you, right? What would be satisfying to your heart? Maybe it's getting a hug from your loved one. Or when it comes to your mind, what does your mind need to be satisfied? And then what does your spirit need to be satisfied? So taking a moment and really looking to see what would nourish you. So I love how nutrition, nourishment, and nourishing, like they're all related as a word, and yet nourishing and nourishment have such a deeper, more holistic sort of feel to them than just food, right? Than just food and diet and nutrition. So that's where I want us to go. And oftentimes, what's a missing ingredient when we're on a journey like this of improving ourselves is self love, is compassion. Because I bet that a lot of you out there, right, suffer from that bad habit of being overly critical of yourselves. And what I find is that being overly critical of yourselves, doing a lot of blaming and shaming and feeling guilty about what you do only perpetuates the pattern. It makes it worse. So instead, the second step to interrupting your pattern, so the first one is compassionately observing what you do, and then the second step is to bring self-love to yourself, to yourself when you notice that you're doing that. Do not start to beat yourself up. So this program, we're doing the Look Good Naked 21-day program, and it's strict. Dr. Debbie has us pretty tight, right, on the guidelines here, and some of us may not do it perfectly. So if you slip up, what I want you to do is just get back on the horse, get recommitted, bring that compassion and self-love, and bring that nourishing mindset, that nutrition mindset with you, and look to see, okay, whoops, now let me get back on board and carry this out, because it's your commitment to your health is what's at stake here and is what matters here, right? That makes sense, right? You don't have any questions? So now, moving forward with some tips I have for you. So if you're feeling cravings, you're feeling a little vulnerable, something's happening in your mind-body signal, what I want you to do is to get hydrated. Take a sip of water. Oftentimes, those mild hunger pains or a mild headache that comes is a function of being dehydrated. And in our fast-paced world, we're super busy, super distracted even, we forget to drink water. So I want to have that be your number one go-to. So go drink some water. And then the second thing is going to be replacing the behavior. So again, if you find yourself being a little bored, a little hungry, a little kind of funky, and instead of going like getting up and walking to the kitchen or walking to the snack bar or wherever you are, I want you to replace that with something else. So maybe if you're at work, maybe you can call someone. And if you're at home, maybe you can take a bath, or you can do something else that will distract you. And then lastly, ultimately, what we're looking to do here is teach you how to fuel yourself and nourish your body and heal your body. So one of the most powerful aspects to your well-being is going to be your mental relationship, the relationship you have with yourself. Right? So you have to have that self-love and that self-compassion. And so I want you to ask yourself, will this honor me? So anything that you're doing with eating, not eating, skipping this, whatever your decisions are, whatever you're choosing, just ask yourself, will this honor you? And allow your higher self to speak to you. Oftentimes our ego, our inner critic, is like meow, 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 nagging in the background. And instead, if you can take a moment and pause and just get present in your body, how you're feeling, what's on your mind, and then ask yourself, will this honor me? allow your higher self to answer you and let that be your guide, because ultimately we're creating a lifestyle here. Ultimately, we want you to be profoundly connected to your body and profoundly connected to your body's wisdom, such that you return to your natural state of power and vitality. Now, going deeper, some of you may want to ask me some more questions, or some of you may want that personal one-on-one coaching, which I'm obsessed with, so please don't be shy. So what I want you to do is, since I'm an affiliate coach for this Look Good Naked program, I have an exclusive offer that I have for you guys to support you through the program. So if you're interested, send me a little private message, and I'd love to share that with you, and then we can see if it's a match and if you'd want to work together so you can be totally pampered and supported during this experience. Otherwise, you'll catch me in the Facebook group. Post your questions, and I'm there for you. I'm totally available, because again, we're looking to have us grow together. And how can we create a win-win of health, of happiness, and of empowerment? So thank you so much for watching this, and I'm so excited and honored to be a part of your journey. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon, virtually.